I remember the killer bees and the flesh-eating bacteria. But the latest instance of nature gone amok seems more dangerous, more rapacious, and much more alarming. I'm talking about the carnivorous squirrels. It's possible that you haven't heard about them. Authorities are trying to contain them to the area where I live, and there's a ban on news about them because they don't want to induce panic. I'd say it's a little too late in the game for that. Scientists have traced this disturbing phenomenon back to a single animal they have designated as A1. The squirrel, a baby at the time, had been injured in some unknown way, and it was found and taken in by a man named Clarence Waldeman. Mr. Waldeman had a history of caring for injured wildlife, birds and animals, which he would tend to, nursing them back to health, and then releasing them back into the wild. In the course of caring for A1, Mr. Waldeman was nipped on the finger. It had happened before. Mr. Waldeman scolded himself for being careless. But this unfortunate and painful accident was repeated several times until it became clear to Mr. Waldeman that it was no longer an accident. The little animal had developed a distinct preference for his finger over the assortment of seeds and nuts he was going to be fed. It was a rare instance where biting the hand that feeds you became not an error, but a habit. Mr. Waldeman took the sensible precaution of wearing gloves, but the squirrel could easily nip through cloth as well as leather. Mr. Waldeman was considering more drastic measures when A1 escaped, taking his newly acquired taste for meat with him. Mr. Waldeman placed a call to the local animal control unit and related his concern, but the attendant taking the call thought it was a prank and didn't bother to file a report. Meanwhile, A1 survived and passed his behavior on to his progeny. It's believed that they ate mice and baby rabbits and progressed to raccoons and possums when they learned to hunt in packs. Dogs and cats were next. People thought it was coyotes. Then they went after animals in cages at the zoo. The first reported attack on a human came when several animals chewed their way into a tent and bit a sleeping camper. The incident was particularly serious due to several factors. One is the amazing sharpness of the animal's teeth. Another is the astonishing force generated by the jaw muscles, enough to literally crack a stone. And finally, and this is not for the faint of heart, although the animals were unquestionably in search of meat, they still retained a taste for nuts. The poor camper never knew what hit him. There have been at least 2 more reported attacks. People, men especially, are deeply concerned, obviously, about their safety, both day and night. Many will not go out unless they are carrying some kind of defensive weapon, a knife or gun. So in addition to the threat of the squirrels, we now have jittery people carrying lethal weapons. Since it's impossible to tell on sight the common squirrels from the rogues, a lot of innocent animals have been sacrificed. Authorities do not know what to do. The governor of the state has been asked to issue a quarantine. Measures as extreme as a complete extermination of all the squirrels in the county have been proposed. But some experts fear that this taste for meat will have already spread to a wider radius. Containment may not be possible. This is not something you will hear about on the news. Local, state, and federal authorities have imposed a blackout on any information relating to this freak of nature. Right now, as I speak to you, we have a human population on the verge of panic and an unknown number of squirrels with a carnivorous inclination and a hunger for more. It's an explosive situation and, in our troubled world, one more thing to have to worry about.